Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the stories behind the phenomena you really need to know about.
Okay, so today we are diving deep into the viral animated hit K-pop Demon Hunters. This movie is taking the world by storm, and for good reason. And you know what? This review absolutely nails it. There is so much more going on here than just catchy tunes and flashy action.
All right, so first things first, let's set the stage. How did a direct-to-streaming movie become this massive overnight sensation, seemingly out of absolutely nowhere?
Well, at its heart, the idea is just brilliant. It's so simple, and you're immediately hooked. I mean, come on, a chart-topping K-pop girl group who secretly hunt demons? You hear that pitch, and you're in. It's this perfect, infectious mix of action, fantasy, and pop culture. But what really grabs you, what makes you stop scrolling, is the visuals. This comes from the same animation team that did Spider-Verse, and you can tell. The style is just wow. It's this hyperkinetic, comic book-influenced look that makes every single frame just pop off the screen. You know, a lot of critics are actually lamenting that it didn't get a huge theatrical release because this thing deserves to be seen on the biggest screen you can find. Okay, so let's get into the main event, the central conflict. Let's meet the key players at the heart of this whole thing. Who are these pop stars, and what or who are they fighting against? So our heroes are the girl group Huntrix, pronounced Huntrix. And you gotta understand, this isn't just some after-school hobby for them. No way. They are the latest in a long, long line of female performers who have been tasked with this sacred generation-spanning mission. So what is that mission? Well, it all comes down to this thing called the Hanmoon. Think of it like a magical shield, protecting all of humanity from the demon world. And here's the really cool part. Their music is literally their weapon. Huntrix X uses their performances to generate positive spiritual energy, making that shield stronger. Meanwhile, their rivals are doing the exact opposite, using their music to weaken it. And that brings us to the bad guys. Meet the Saja Boys. Now, they're not just some rival boy band competing for that #1 spot on the charts. Oh no, they are actual demons in disguise, and they're using all the same tricks of pop stardom, the catchy music, the slick choreography, for a way darker purpose, to literally steal the souls of their fans and tear that protective shield apart. Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Let's dig in, because what makes this movie so special is that almost every single piece of this bright, flashy modern world is actually rooted in centuries of Korean culture and mythology.
So first off, you need to get this. When Hunter/X performs, it is not just a concert. It's way more than that. The music, the incredible light show, the sheer energy coming from the fans, all of it is part of something ancient.
What you're really seeing is a modern-day reimagining of an incredibly powerful ancient ritual. This whole idea of a performance that can actually fight off evil spirits, that's pulled straight from Korean tradition. Yeah, it's directly inspired by something called the gut ritual, which comes from Korean shamanism, or musok. In these traditional ceremonies, shamans, who, by the way, are often women, use song and dance and specific sacred objects to communicate with the spirit world and, fight off evil forces. The movie just brilliantly reframes that whole ancient practice as a massive, sold-out K-pop concert. It's genius. And it doesn't stop there. The connection goes even deeper. Take a look at their weapons. They're not just random cool-looking props. They're based on actual ceremonial shamanic tools. Rumi's sword, that's the Sanjeom, said to hold the power of 4 mythic tigers. Zoe's knives, those are based on the Shinko, used to drive out demons. Seriously, every little detail is just steeped in this incredible history. And the Saja Boys, the rivals, they're also a super clever twist on Korean folklore. Their name, Saja, comes from the Jeoseung Saja. That's basically the Korean Grim Reaper. But, traditionally, the Saja are these solemn figures who just guide souls to the afterlife. The movie flips that completely on its head and recasts them as soul-stealing pop stars. It's such a great subversion. Even the merch has a secret layer of meaning. You know those light sticks that fans weave at K-pop concerts? Well, in the movie, Hunter/X's light sticks are designed to look like a norage. And a norage is a traditional Korean pendant people wear for good luck and, get this, to ward off evil spirits. So the fans in the crowd are literally waving around thousands of protective charms without even knowing it. Okay, let's talk about the heart of the film now. Because beyond all the amazing fights and the cool mythology, this story is digging into some surprisingly deep themes. It's actually using this fantasy battle to say something really powerful and real about the intense pressures of being a star today. So the movie does this brilliant thing where it draws a strong parallel between our hero, Rumi, and the main villain, Jinu. Turns out they're both motivated by a secret they're incredibly ashamed of. Rumi is hiding the fact that she's half demon. Jinu is haunted by the memory of abandoning his family, and he's desperate to have a demon lord just erase it. And when you think about the super high-pressure world of K-pop, where one little mistake can totally tank your career, it makes sense that these secrets would feel like their own personal demons. And that's the key right there. Their internal struggle, their shame, is what makes them vulnerable. The real villain, this big demon overlord named Guima, he doesn't just fight with brute force. Nah, his main weapon is psychological manipulation. He gets inside their heads and weaponizes their self-doubt and their guilt. It's not so different from the kind of intense public scrutiny that real-life idols have to face every day. And that's what gives the story so much emotional weight. In the end, their journey isn't really about defeating some big, scary demon lord. It's about overcoming that crippling shame. It's about learning to accept every single part of themselves, the good and the bad. And, most importantly, learning to trust and lean on their friends, their community. So, okay, when you put all of these pieces together, you've got the incredible action, the hit music, the deep mythology, and this surprising emotional core. What does that all add up to? What you get is a film that just works on every single level. It's an absolute visual spectacle with an energy that just leaps right off the screen. It has a killer soundtrack, and it's all built on this incredibly rich foundation of fascinating cultural history. And let's talk about the music for a second, because it's not just some gimmick to move the story forward. The songs they wrote for the fictional groups in the movie, for both Hunt/X and the Saja Boys, are so legitimately good that they have actually topped the real-world music charts. It's like the magic of the film literally crossed over into our reality. And that, right there, is what makes K-pop Demon Hunters so special. That's why it's connected with so many people. It's this perfect blend of dazzling style and real substance. It's a movie that's just as much fun to watch as it is to really dig into and think about later. So this all leaves us with one final thought to chew on. K-pop Demon Hunters is just such a powerful reminder that sometimes looking back at our oldest myths and our ancient traditions, well, that might be the best way to create our most exciting, most relevant new stories. It just makes you wonder, right? What other ancient tales are out there just waiting for their own killer remix?